Now we're in the income potential part of the opportunities section of this workbook. And this is, again, another section that is fairly self-explanatory. Do you have an item 19? Yes or no? And what is it? And pull out that information. Generally speaking, Charles, what advice do you have for brands that relates to the item 19?
So we all know or should know that item 19 is the most critical or one of the most critical assets or sections of your FDD. I think what emerging brands need to know is you can do more with your item 19. It doesn't need to be just static data about gross sales. Consider when your item 19 is being prepared, you need to be working with your team, with your lawyer. Do a deep dive into the data and the discussions you're having with franchisee candidates. Can you do a deep dive breaking down your gross sales revenue? Can you do a deeper dive into average ticket sales, repeat customers? If you have a call center, what are call center conversions looking like? What are cost factors looking like in gross profits? So too many item 19s are too generic, or they're prepared from a legal perspective that doesn't answer the questions. So right now in question 1, we're asking you disclose what's the categories, what's that key data your item 19 is disclosing. Is it gross sales? Is it gross profit? Is it EBITDA? Is it unit level metrics for customers, right? So baseline that. Second question, how does your item 19 help your candidates? So we see so many brands that say, hey, our item 19 is really confusing people, or it's not providing the right data. Maybe your item 19 needs to differentiate between franchisees that are open more than 2 years or 3 years. Or if you're a service-based brand and you're mobile, maybe it needs to differentiate between franchisees that work part-time and full-time. You need your data sets, and here you need to be baselining that. And so question 1, what are those key metrics? Question 2, how does it help your franchisees? Question 3, what is the financial story that your item 19 is telling? If it's just gross sales, well, we just have gross sales. If you're showing gross profit, maybe there's a great story about ROI or a great profit margin story. Or if you're supplying product to franchisees, you need to be showing them the numbers behind it to show they have the right margin. So what is the financial story that your item 19 is communicating? And then in question 4, if you do have variation between your highest performing franchisees and your lower performing franchisees, start building a genuine and honest narrative as to why. And not only evaluate that from franchise sales, but to evaluate your organization where you may need to do more for your franchisees.
As you're working through this section, I would advise put on the hat of a buyer, say what would cause hesitation for you to say yes to the brand and what would cause you to say absolutely to your brand. And if you're not disclosing both sides to frame that story, or you are disclosing something that doesn't align with what you just answered and how you're looking at your brand, then you're missing something. Now that we've gone through how much does it cost to get in and how much you can make, next we're going to get into validation.
Right. And so these questions together are going to give you accountability for your item 19. And I think it's going to tie in very well and should tie in well with the overall brand story.